Thank you for tuning into another episode of Take 10 on Tuesday with the Tennessee Tribune. I'm Jason Muntz. Today I decided to go on a road trip. It was such a beautiful day, and there are a lot of exciting things happening in Clarksville, Tennessee. I'm sitting here with attorney Dr. Merriel Bullock-Neal, who is running for Montgomery County Juvenile Court Judge. Hello, how are you?
Fine, thank you. And you?
I'm doing great. Well, the reason why I wanted to come here today is there's a lot of excitement and a lot of news coming all the way back through Middle Tennessee about your campaign.
Yes.
So you're running for juvenile court judge.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I know the first thing off the bat that separates you from so many others is not only are you an attorney, but you also have a PhD.
Yes, I have a PhD in special education and clinical with support fields in clinical child psychology and family therapy, and that's what makes me unique in that I have a dual credentials.
So in the past, is this something that's is this a rare thing to see? Somebody running for judge who also has formal education?
Most who run for judge also.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Most who run for judge have a law degree, and that's what makes me unique in that I also have a PhD.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, in the past, well, what happened first? Was it the education, the PhD, or was it the law degree first?
It was the PhD in special education. I started off as a classroom teacher in the DC public schools. I received a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from Howard University, and then I received a Master's in Special Education, also from Howard University.
Okay.
And after I taught school, I decided that I would obtain my doctorate in special education.
Okay.
And I decided to go to American University, which is also in Washington, D.C., and receive my doctorate in special education, as I said, with the support fields in the clinical child psychology and family therapy. I also did a one-year externship at Children's National Medical Center, which is located in D.C. in the Department of Psychiatry.
Wow. So that sounds like you know a lot about some important topics.
Yes. Well, it's correlated in that special education deals with teaching and therapeutic techniques for working with children with various types of disabilities. And I had the classroom experience, and once I received my doctorate,
Mm-hmm.
I began teaching at universities. I started off initially at Tennessee State University, and then I taught at Delaware State University, and then eventually I taught several years at Austin Peay State University.
Okay. So then you have a lot of experience in the Middle Tennessee area.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great. Now you have that background teaching, and then you became a lawyer as well.
Yes. After teaching for numerous years, preparing classroom teachers to work with children with disabilities, and teaching some courses in psychology, I taught courses from the undergraduate level to the master's level to the doctoral level.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Great.
And I realized that as an advocate in special education, that we needed more information on the legal aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to go back to school and become an attorney so that I would be able to be not just an advocate, but also a legal advocate for individuals with disabilities. And so
Okay.
then I applied and was accepted at American University. They had an outstanding program and was nationally and internationally known for the person who ran the program on emotional disturbance, Dr. Nicholas Long.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So with all this experience, it seems to me that you definitely are really qualified for your position because you understand from an education point of view the needs of juveniles, and you also understand the law.
Yes, and my education experiences allow me to look at the child from a holistic perspective, looking at the total child, looking at child and adolescent development, as well as the offense that the child has come through the court system.
Okay. So, if you became judge, how will this affect your decision making or the way that you look at the issues that children are dealing with?
Well, we know that according to the U.S. Justice Department, that approximately 60% of the youth that come through the juvenile justice system have a mental illness or a major behavioral problem.
Wow.
Or some type of other type of disability. And so given that large number, my special education and psychology background will enable me to be able to let me back up.
Okay.
For that part. My education experience will allow me to be able to read all of the psychological reports, the reports that come from the school system on the child's development, as well as understand the family dynamics.
Yes.
Because I have the family therapy background also. So I will be able to give a more realistic and holistic assessment of the child, taking in consideration all the different developmental aspects as well as the offense that the child has committed.
So that makes a lot of sense because all the information a judge receives, they may not be have a full understanding of everything they're looking at, but because of your experience and background, you definitely can make a real fair judgment of what the next move in this child's life is.
Yes, and many of the judges know that I have that background, and I have had several of them to contact me and assign an individual to me.
Wow.
Who has had a special education issue, or they thought the person had that issue, and then I would work in collaboration with the school system.
Great.
Look at all the reports and so forth, and make my recommendation to the judge in terms of what I felt was in the best interest of the child and the community.
So you already worked in the system. You've had judges actually present cases to you to have your opinion, your viewpoint. So you've actually been grooming towards this. It seems like everything you've done is pointed towards this position.
Yes, yes. This has been my life's work. It's my passion. I have been working with juveniles and addressing the issues that confront juveniles for over 25 years, more like 30.
Wow, wow. That's really great experience.
Yes.
So people, a lot of our viewers live in Montgomery County in Clarksville. Let's tell them, what are the dates to vote and when is early voting? Because I know that's a great push.
Right. Early voting is July 18th through August the 2nd.
Okay.
And the final election day is August the 7th.
Okay, so we're going to put that on the bottom of the screen. So we have the end of July, the beginning of August, and then a couple of days off, and then the actual day is August the 7th.
Yes, and during the early voting, individuals go down to the Election Commission on Pageant Lane. Okay. And you vote there.
Pageant Lane by the library?
By the library.
By the library. Okay.
And then on Election Day, on August the 7th, you go to your respective precinct to vote. Okay.
So early voting is on Pageant Lane, and then the day of the election is the area that you normally vote for all elections.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Now, before I let you go, I know there's a lot of great things you do here in the community for juveniles, and I thought maybe we could talk about the task force that you're a part of and some of those things, just so that the audience knows that this is truly your passion, as you stated.
Yes, I am the chairperson of the Disproportionate Minority Contact Task Force, and I have been chairperson for approximately 7 or 8 years. It's been quite a while. And as chairperson, I'm also on the state task force, the statewide task force,
wow,
which is comes under the umbrella of the Tennessee Commission on Children and Youth. And on the statewide task force, you have various individuals from the commission. You have individuals who work for DCS, individuals who are also chairpersons of the other 4 counties that have a task force. We recently had a summit in Nashville where all of the individuals who are on the state task force came, and the people in the community, people who have a vested interest in working with our youth. They attended an all-day summit in Memphis. This was about a month ago. For the Montgomery County DMC Task Force, we have had community forums in the public library on Pageant Lane. And then in the last 4 years, we have moved to a conference, and I am chair of the Joint Conference on Juvenile Justice.
Yes, yes.
And the Joint Conference is held in April of each year. The first 3 years it was held at Austin Peay State University. And this past year it was hosted at Daymar Institute.
Yes. I had the opportunity to be there, and it was really good seeing all those children, and then the students from Daymar being involved, and all the great community leaders. So I definitely commend you for what you're doing in Montgomery County for these juveniles.
Well, we had students not only from Daymar, we had some from Brown Mackey, and we also had students from Austin Peay State University who served as volunteers to assist us and participate in the conference. And what's unique about the conference is that we run 2 tracks. One for the adults, and that could be individuals who are community activists, parents, lawyers, judges, police officers, individuals from the sheriff's department, classroom teachers.
That's a lot of people.
Right, anyone who's interested in the welfare of our youth. And then on the youth side, we generally have children from, say, middle school through high school. Sometimes we have a handful that are much younger. And so we start off the morning with a joint session, what we call an opening session, and everyone is together. And then we have a guest speaker to give a presentation during the opening session. Then we break up into 2 groups. So we talk about topics such as gangs, bullying, cyberbullying, suicide prevention, parenting from the perspective of parenting teenagers, parenting from the perspective of young people.
Wow.
We've had a variety of topics. A couple of years ago, we actually invited Rachel's Challenge group in to do the closing. So when the parent or the community activist or the police officers and so forth goes to the session that deals with gangs, the pastor who does that presentation is a former gang member himself, talks to the parents about what paraphernalia is in your house that represents various gangs.
So that's so important that somebody, you got to keep it, you got to keep it real, for lack of a better term, with these children. I mean, with these parents, so they know.
Right.
Wow, that's a great
And
part.
also for classroom teachers to be aware.
Teachers need to know what they're dealing with. Oh, that's great. Okay. That's great. And this is something you do in April every year.
Yes. And then when that individual talks to the youth, he talks to them regarding what if someone approaches you about joining a gang, what you should do, who you should talk to, if you're in one and you want to get out of one, what you need to do. And by that session being only the youth and no parents or other adults, the young people are free to express themselves and ask the questions that need to be asked and have someone to honestly answer those questions for them.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
And we do that for each topic. So the same scenario happens with the bullying and cyberbullying. The same thing happens with suicide prevention. What are some of the signs and symptoms that parents and other adults who work with youth need to be on the lookout for? And then with young people, what signs you may notice in your friends in terms of the change of behaviors and so forth, or if you are feeling depressed or have some issues, who you need to speak with. So we do this for each topic, and then at lunchtime we usually have someone to come in and do the keynote speaking. This year I was the keynote speaker.
Yes.
And I talked about the school to prison pipeline and gave the data on how it impacts minority youth.
Yes.
And also talk with them about what the national figures are, the statewide figures, and also the figures in Montgomery County, because lots of people would like to believe we don't have an issue. It is an issue nationwide.
It really
And
is.
as judge, I want to be sure that all children are treated fairly and equally, and opportunities are provided to all youth in terms of being rehabilitated.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, you are running for judge, so we definitely have to let the audience know what is your website and can they donate? Can they volunteer? What is the next step?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
I'm sorry. That one just finished. So, can you look in this camera for me? Okay, but I'm going to ask that again. Okay? And then that's how we finish it off. We'll just both look in that one. You'll give your website and talk about donating, and then I'll say thank you.
and then I want to make what my focus is real quick.
Oh, yeah,
So I'll
okay.
Wrap it up.
So, okay, I'm going to rewind. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to say that again. Okay. And you are running for judge, so we definitely need to let the people know how can they get in contact with you. Is there any other words you want to give, and how can they donate and volunteer?
Yes, my focus is on prevention and rehabilitation. We know that for every young child we prevent from going into the juvenile justice system and or rehabilitate if they're already in the system, that will be one less adult in the criminal justice system in the future. And I would like for individuals to feel free to contact me at 931-551-8300 or go to our website www.mbealforjudge.com. That's MBNeal for judge.com.
Oh, that's
And
great.
you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
That's right. And they're actually all the same, MB Neal for judge. So it's nice and easy. And we'll put that down at the bottom of the screen for everyone as well. And on your website, they can find information about donating and volunteering?
Yes, on the website there is a section that you can click on that will take you to volunteers, and you can choose what area you would like to volunteer. There's also a section on contact us where someone can send us an email and we will follow up. There's also a section on donations where you can make a donation either by sending money in via mail, or you can make a payment on the using Visa or MasterCard on the website. So remember, for justice that is real, vote for Merriel Bullock-Neal.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. And once again, you've been tuning to Take 10 on Tuesday with the Tennessee Tribune. See you next time.